Everybody dancing to the light.
Nel frattempo, Collins si dedica alla composizione della colonna sonora del film a cartoni animati Tarzan e al vecchio sogno di realizzare un album e portarlo in giro per il mondo affiancato da una big band jazz con la quale registra il live Health Night in Paris. Poi torna il momento di lavorare ad un nuovo album pop, Testify, per il quale Collins, incredibile ma vero, ricorre per la prima volta all'uso dei computer.
Well, it affects the composing, the freedom of being able to change, change arrangements, change keys. It's difficult to explain, but I work on my own. I work on my own. And if you have a band, you can say, hey, let's forget about that bit. Let's go straight to this bit and let's change the key because it's too high for me, And all the guys say, okay, let's try it like that. 1, 2, 3. But if you work on your own, it's difficult to do that because you have to do it all and then listen to it and say, nah, and then do it all again differently, which is what I did up until and including Tarzan, all my solo records. But with the computer, which is not, I didn't know. No, I don't want a computer. I don't want a computer, Fuck that technology, I'm not interested. I still don't know how to send an email. As we sit here, I don't know how to send an email. About 2 weeks ago, I learned how to open an email on my wife's computer, but I'm not interested. I'm not interested, really. I've got other things I want to do, write music. But anyway, I suddenly realized that if I was going to get involved with film music, which I am doing with Disney, I really have to make that step. Because when they say, as they do, it's too slow, could you speed it up? It's too long, can you shorten it? I can just go, sure. What do you think? And it makes my life easier. But I found that when I had loads and loads of little pieces of music which I didn't really know what to do with. And one of the first things I did when I got my computer was to copy these pieces of music into the computer via MIDI, and fool around with them. So suddenly these little bits of music, these little sperms, became a person, and it was amazing. I was totally convinced from that moment that I should have gone with computers years ago, but I just couldn't be bothered to learn the technology, and I felt that the longer I left, the worse it would be. It's like if you can't catch up. So for me, it changed the way I wrote, but it just gave me more. I still had to sit down and write the song, although even with some songs, I just played the little bit that I had, and then I kind of moved these bits around to see what I could do, and it was just more experimental. And of course, in the end, they become songs, and in the end, I sing, and in the end, it becomes a Phil Collins record. But the journey to that Phil Collins record was a very different journey. But I still can't open an email. I still can't send an email. I'm resisting.
So you're leaving in the morning on the early train. Well, I could say everything's all right, and I could pretend and say goodbye.
Well, this song, is an old song from the 70s, and it was Leo Sayer that did it originally. And it was really kind of a country song, the way it was originally done by Leo Sayer. So you're leaving in the morning on the early train. But I remember it when it came out originally. I remember it, and I kind of liked it. And then I heard it 3 or 4 years ago when I was doing some skiing up at Zermatt. And I thought, that's a good song. And I went into the steam room, after skiing, and ding, 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 so you're leaving, ding, ding, ding. And I thought, do something different with it. So it becomes my song by what I do with it,
'Cause I can't stop loving you. No, I can't stop loving you. No, I won't
dei motivi che stanno dietro al rallentamento della sua produzione musicale è l'affezione all'udito che ha colpito qualche anno fa Phil Collins. L'ex batterista dei Genesis però non si è perso d'animo e ne ha anzi approfittato per lavorare con un grande produttore, Rob Cavallo, l'uomo già dietro il successo di Alanis Morissette e Green Day.
Do you know, he's a great music person. He loves music and he loves melody and he likes songs. And it's interesting, you're the only person that's mentioned him so far. He is very important. You know, apart from the fact that I had this problem with my ear, therefore I'm not the best producer anymore that I could be. Apart from that, I wanted somebody else to give me some feedback, because, you know, I've made a lot of records, and sometimes you wonder whether you really do know what's best for you, you know. And I've worked with different producers. I worked with Quincy Jones, I worked with Arif Mardin, George Martin, you know, and I realised that other people's opinions are kind of cool sometimes, you know. And so I looked for somebody, and I worked with Rob on You'll Be in My Heart for Tarzan. And we got to know each other very well, and we liked each other. And then there was going to be another album, a compilation album of mine that we were thinking of putting out with just love songs, you know. And I was going to record 1 or 2 new songs for that record. And I thought I would work with Rob on those songs just to see how it worked. And we recorded those songs, Can't Stop Loving You, Least You Can Do, and one other song, which isn't on the album. But we got a band together and we recorded them in a studio. And while I was doing that, I had my demos with me, and I said, could you listen to these? I'd like to know what you think. And he came back the next day and he said, man, this is fantastic. He played all the guys in the band, he said, listen to this, and he played Wake Up Call. And I said, you get it, you get what I want. And he said, I love this, I want to do this, I'll go anywhere. And in fact, we ended up doing it just across the border in France, you know. He came over here for 2 months, and he brought with him an engineer that I'd worked with. Managed to get him out of Los Angeles, because it's very difficult to get these guys to leave, because, you know, this guy builds studios, you know. And I got a couple of the best musicians that I knew, new musicians, people I hadn't really worked with that much before. And we all stayed in the house. I came home every night, but they stayed in this house. And we got a mobile truck where we did the recording, and we mixed it in the garden.
So we're leaving in the morning on the early train. Well, I could say everything's alright, and I could pretend to say goodbye, but that would be lying, because I can't stop loving you, can't stop loving you. No, I can't stop loving you. I won't stop loving you. No, I won't stop loving you. Why should I? Why should I even try? Because I can't stop loving you. Can't stop loving you. No, I can't stop loving you. It's all I can do. No, I won't stop loving you. Why should I? Why should I? Why should I? Tell me why. Why should I even try? Don't be unhappy, can't
E così adesso per Phil Collins si preannuncia un presente molto tranquillo e interessante, e mentre Testify lo riconferma un autore inconfondibile, sempre apprezzato da un pubblico adulto, lui si permette anche il lusso di riflettere sul passato dei Genesis e, perché no, di non escludere una futura riunione.
colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why
I would be quite happy to do it, you know. But there's 5 people involved. If you're talking about the early Genesis, you're talking about 5 people. This particular person here would like to do it. I'm quite happy to do it. Well, it's something, I'm not going to organise it, that's all. You know, I mean, I've talked to Mike and Tony about doing it, saying, you know, if anybody thinks of it, I'll do it. And when we took some pictures, we all got together for some pictures for the first box set. You know, I've mentioned it to Peter, I think. But I get the impression he's not really interested, you know. He's spent, God knows, 30, 25 years just being the ex-singer of Genesis, and I think he doesn't really want to go back and do it. But you know, it's only a temporary thing. It's a bit of fun, you know. That's the way I see it. It's just, for me, I don't feel threatened by it. It's not going to, people aren't going to say, oh, you know, he's struggling on his own, he wants to go back with the band. I'm not going to, no one's going to think that. I just think it's a bit of fun. So I would do it. We used to, well, originally, when he was in the band still, we wrote as a group, but, I mean, with The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, everything was written as a group. But on some of the other records, you know, someone would bring a song in and someone else would write the lyrics, you know. But when it was just the three-piece band, then we just used to go in with absolutely nothing written. Because I'd keep my songs for my record. We decided, you know, it wasn't jealousy. We just decided, you've got a solo career, you've got a solo career, you've got a solo career. Why are we in the band? Because we like writing together. Well, then let's just write together. You got a song, you want to do your way, you do it your way. Let's just do what we can't do anywhere else, which is write together. And so that kind of just playing and playing and playing and working on a song and refining it, and, that's been a big influence on my writing and therefore my career, I suppose. But when I arrived in the band, I wasn't a writer at all, I was a player. And through my playing, became an arranger. And so my strength really with the early Genesis was hearing a song and saying, you know, we could do it like this, we could do it like that. And I'd say that I wrote very little on the early Genesis, which is an important part of it, of course, but not the actual construction of the song. It was more the arrangement. But by the time I left, of course, you know, I was much more involved in the writing. And I'd learnt more because I'd written songs myself. It doesn't really matter. I mean, I do what I do. It's good that we don't do the same thing. He does what he does, which is different from what I do. And when you're in a group, of course, that becomes a chemistry. When you're on your own, you just do what you want to do. In terms of people's perception, then it is without a doubt that Peter has more credibility and is the mysterious traveller. As you say, the guru, whereas I am the man next door. From Brand X, I think it would be probably Moroccan Roll, because I think that's a pretty complete album. There's bits of Product I like. April and then So to F, they're my two favourite songs on Product, but the overall record would be Moroccan Roll. My favourite record, I would have to say, apart from this one, which of course is so new to me, would be Both Sides. That's my favourite record of mine. And Genesis record, I think I'd have to say We Can't Dance, because I think we got better with each album. I think Abacab showed a way of doing things, but when I listen back to it, I don't like my voice, you know. I have a problem with some of the early stuff. I mean, even Face Value, I listened to that today for the first time because it's been remixed in surround, and I listened to it for the first time for years, and I don't really like my voice very much on that record. I think The Lamb that was the best we were with Peter.
Got your tears